Welcome back. My name is Frankie, and this is Frankie Talks Too Much, where we talk about everything pop culture, everything on my brain, overthinking, and I hope every episode feels like a FaceTime call with me, because if you actually FaceTime call with me, it sounds exactly like this podcast, where I bring up basically every single thing that's going on right now, whether it's what I'm watching, what I'm obsessed with, and what I'm doing. This week has been a crazy week. If you can't tell, I'm not recording in my kitchen like normal. I'm recording in a closet at my in-laws' house. It's filled to the brink with toys, as a family full of kids would have, and I love it. And so if you hear background noise, it's because there are children running around this home, and it's just a lively home, and it's amazing. So what did I do this week? We have been on this road trip for, today is Monday, so that makes it 7 days, and we are in Las Vegas. We've been to so many states, but I do want to start off with saying that now that it is August, it is my birthday month, and my birthday is less than 2 weeks away. I am going to be 30 in 2 weeks, which is crazy. I'm really excited. Everyone who I talk to is so excited to be 30, or tells me 30 is such a great year and such a great age to turn. And so I'm so excited that it is my birthday month. I love the month of August. I love back to school. I'm so excited to get home to Kansas City and do some school supply shopping. And it has just been fun. But back to what I'm doing and why I'm in this closet. We are on a long 14-day road trip all around the southwest part of the country. Currently, as you're listening to this, we are in Las Vegas, but we started out on Tuesday, right after gymnastics, right after haircuts. We got on the road and we drove straight to Cheyenne. We left on the road trip a little late. We were like, oh yes, we're going to leave right after the haircuts. So 11:45. We didn't actually hit the road till 2, which is fine. We drove straight to Cheyenne, stayed in a hotel, and it was great. No one talks about how much better a road trip is when you stop for the night instead of pushing through. Growing up, we would push through and drive straight to California, the 21 hours, and it was tough. Now, I wasn't the one driving, so I don't know why I was complaining, but we didn't have screens and streaming. We were forced to just look out the window the entire road trip. So that is one of the reasons why I think road trips are better when you have streaming, which we have a Starlink Mini, which is the reason why Dante's been able to work while I drive. But I've been able to actually watch my shows and actually stream and scroll because we have a Starlink Mini, and just the road trip has been great. And obviously sleeping. We stayed at a Marriott on Tuesday night in Cheyenne, woke up, ate breakfast, and got on the road to Salt Lake. That was so fun to visit Wyoming, but we stopped at Little America, and if you've driven from Kansas City area or just anywhere on or in the east to Salt Lake, you've probably stopped in Little America in Wyoming. And growing up, I thought this place was huge and had so many things. It's not all that great. And that's okay. It doesn't have to be great. My memory was that it was great. I mean, they had a pretty cool playground, which was great for my kids to break up all of the driving. But Little America didn't hit like it did when I was a kid. So then we got to Salt Lake and we did the planetarium. We did Temple Square. We ate dinner with one of my cousins and her family, which was so fun. I love you, Nema, if you're listening. But I forgot how dry Utah and Vegas is. I have to keep putting on chapstick every single day. The bottoms of my feet look absolutely terrible. I went when we were in St. George, and I'll talk about that later, but I had to buy a pumice stone and those Aquaphor foot mask things because my heels look terrible. They are white and dry, not cracked yet, but not cracked yet. And it reminds me of back when I first moved to Vegas, my very first winter, I had to put Vaseline in my nose every single day. I have been blowing my nose more now than ever before, which is crazy, but it's only because my nose has been so dry and I just like constantly feel like there's something in there. Anyway, enough of the booger talk. The next day in Utah, we got to swim at the coolest pool in Provo with my cousin Ainga and her kids, and that was awesome. And then we got to like roam around Provo. We went to Brick Oven, which is my favorite pizza place, and I forget that it's my favorite pizza place until I'm in Utah and I really need a place to eat. We also went around BYU campus, and I've talked about like how I went to BYU for 2 years and dropped out because I found out that I'm really not that good at college. And so it was kind of funny, like walking around BYU, like there is like this weird like feeling of bringing your kids somewhere that like isn't the like my memory of it didn't involve kids. I don't know if that makes sense. Like I showed them my dorm and I was like, I didn't think I'd be married with children at this point in my life. And so I don't know. It was cool. I love BYU. I low key hope my kids go there only because tuition is so cheap and affordable compared to most colleges. So low key, I hope my kids go there or BYU Hawaii. So that way I have a chance to just go back whenever I want. But anyway, going through Utah, I am just too Midwest for Utah. Everyone there is in a rush. What is your rush? We were driving back home to my cousin's house where we were staying at like 9:30, and somebody like was turning left, but they didn't turn left very fast, and the person behind them honked. I'm like, what is the rush? It is 9:30 p.m. Where do you have to go? So anyway, I'm just too Midwest for Utah and Vegas and even California because I'm not in a rush for anything. Where do I have to be? Anyway, I love talking to my cousin in Utah until 1 a.m. every night. She is so wise and she gave me so much life advice. It's like talking with an older sister. I don't have an older sister. I am the oldest. And my younger sister is also very wise, but she does not stay up till 1 or 2 a.m. to talk as much as I would love to because I love my little sister. But anyway, it was nice talking to her. Honestly, every single stop I've stopped to talk with different cousins and family members, it's like I'm at family reunion part 3. So I had a lot of cousin time in Salt Lake. I had cousin time in St. George with my cousin Malai, who came to our hotel and just helped watch my kids swim with me, and we just chit chatted all the time. And then I came to Vegas yesterday and I got to speak with my Auntie Lina and her kids, and it's just so fun. My Auntie Lina is just so amazing. Like growing up, I always wanted to be super cool like her. Like I wanted to be like her. But now, I mean, I still want to be like her. She is still really cool and she's a great person to talk to, and just talking to her was so good for the soul, honestly. But we got to St. George on Friday night. We swam our hearts out. We ate at this yummy little Peruvian chicken place, which was surprising that is where my kids wanted to eat and ate a lot. And then we went to Bryce Canyon on Saturday morning. Now, I did so much research before picking a national park to go to on Saturday, and everything was like the only national park that's not a million degrees in August is Bryce Canyon. So I'm so glad we did it. The whole national park was dead. I heard from one of the tour buses that like their busiest time to go is Memorial Day and sometimes Labor Day weekend. But I loved Bryce Canyon. It is so beautiful. They have those orange rocks that like come out of the ground that are called hoodoos. And in Native American lore, it's that people who do bad things, the coyotes come in and they turn those bad people into hoodoos. Like if you do a bad thing, you get turned into a hoodoo by a coyote. Oh man, you might hear a vacuum. They're cleaning. Anyway, so Bryce Canyon, definitely worth the visit. We actually bought a national park annual pass. So we have to go to the Grand Canyon this year to make it worth it, and maybe one other national park. I mean, we went to Haleakala back in April on Maui. So if we would have gotten it then, we would have made our money's worth, but we didn't realize how many national parks we were truly going to go to this year. So yes, I loved Bryce Canyon. And then we drove straight here to Vegas, and we got to have a lot of family time with my husband's family. And so I'm really grateful for that. Oh man, I hope you guys can't hear the vacuum in the background. Anyway, we went to church yesterday, and we walked in, and the church was scorching hot. Like, I'm talking no AC, and it's 110 degrees outside. It was so bad. And the problem was that I had an energy drink. So I had an Alani Nu and no breakfast. No, my brother-in-law made everyone in the house breakfast. So I don't really have an excuse for why I didn't eat breakfast. But yeah, I was shaky, and then the heat, it was not good. So we left church. We did like the first hour. If you know, you know. And we left, and we got McDonald's and like a Coke so I could maybe get my blood sugar up, because you know these Alani Nus have no sugar, and so I was not feeling good. So after I ate, I felt great. We went to my aunt's house. Then we went to my father-in-law's house, and he had like this big like birthday party for his wife. Her birthday's like right next to mine. But it was cool. Like, he made carne asada, and we got to swim. Well, I didn't swim. There were so many kids that it's like, yeah, I don't think I'm going to get in the pool if there's like 20 kids in a small pool. Anyway, it's been kind of a fun trip. That's kind of a good recap of everything we've done. But something that I've noticed is that lately I've become kind of picky about things like cleanliness at homes and in hotel rooms. I unfortunately am looking in every corner. Like, if you invite me to your house, I'm not judging you if your house is messy, but I do notice the mess. Like, for some reason, my eye goes straight to someone's baseboards. My eyes go straight to like marks on walls. My eyes go straight to like clutter. I don't know why that is like really bad for me, but it's so bad that I have to really, really live my life thinking that everything's dirty, no matter if it's clean. And I don't know what illness that is, where you're like trying to breathe through like clutter and dirt. But I don't know, like, so our first hotel we stayed in Cheyenne, it felt clean. Obviously, I know hotels are not clean, and that's actually a really hard thing for me to be able to like really comprehend. But like, even just going to people's houses, like, I'm just like, don't think about mess, don't think about clutter. And I can feel myself becoming an unfun person because I am always worried about mess. I'm always worried about clutter. Like, if you come to my house, like, I can feel myself becoming unfun when I have to tell people, no, please eat in the kitchen because I don't want food somewhere else in my house. Or like, no, please leave the toys up in the toy room because I don't want to have to clean it. Like, I can feel myself becoming unfun and uncool. And I don't want to be that person. Like, I don't want to be that person who's always worried about clutter and mess or anything disorganized. So that's something I want to work on this week, is actually becoming fun and not worried about things being disorganized. Also, my in-laws have 4 kids, and I think people with 3 or more kids are living in a different reality than those of us who have 2 kids. Like, having 2 kids is the perfect number for calmness, organization, non-chaos. But having 3, 4 kids, honestly, I just don't know how people do it. I don't know how people have the energy to wrangle that many kids, and to be outnumbered stresses me out. Do you see how I live life in the comfort zone, whether it's always staying organized or having the perfect number of kids that I can take care of without having a crazy house? I don't know. Anyway, something else I noticed with talking to my cousins and just getting to have a lot of family time, family reunion part 3, or I guess it's more a family reunion tour for me. But I always say that I want the tea. Like, I always say that I want to know, like, what's going on with someone's life, or I want to know, like, the problems that they're having. But low key, I don't want to know. Low key, some people have really dark things going on, and sometimes you find something out that you're like, oh, tea, and you're like, wait, I kind of didn't want to know that. Like, I didn't want to know that they're going through a really tough time. And so once I did find out someone's tea just by their Instagram likes, like, I saw that they were liking certain things, and so I knew something was going to happen, and then it happened, and I felt really sad. And that's when it hit me that maybe I don't want people's tea. Maybe I don't want to know the dark things in their lives. Actually, I never really wanted to know dark things. I only wanted to know funny things. Anyway, now that I talk about spilling tea, I'm going to spill some tea of my own in our obsessed section. I am going to get very vulnerable with you guys. I hinted on my Instagram story that I am going to talk numbers and I'm going to talk money, and because I've gotten a lot of questions on how we can afford to be on this many trips, and I would love to just deep dive that. Because I'm obsessed with getting vulnerable. That's why I have a podcast. Is that not right? Anyway, growing up, my parents did not talk about finances. Like, they didn't tell us how much money they had. They didn't tell us how much money they made. They didn't tell us if there was no money left over or if there was a lot of money left over. They were just like radio silence on the topic of money. And it was always like it's not your business because you're a kid type thing, which is great. I love that my parents protected us from the stress that money can truly cause. But I mean, like, it was nice because I knew growing up that we always had enough money for our needs. Like, the electric bill was always paid, the mortgage was always paid. But we didn't always have money for our wants, which is fine because I was a teenager, so I wanted literally everything. I wanted every Aeropostale sweater, every American Eagle sweater, American Eagle jeans, and there were 4 of us kids, so my parents did not have money for all of that. But like, this translated into me being very cheap about certain things, but also not caring about the price about others, which is not good. Like, I can see myself being like a 50% spender and a 50% saver. I definitely run the budget in our family, and Dante kind of just looks at it. He always makes the joke that he just brings in the money. Don't listen to him when he says that, because that is not true. Like, he doesn't just bring in the money. He provides value in other ways. But anyway, I am somebody who has to put money in savings first because I will spend it. But with this unexpected traveling, like, I can also feel a little guilt in spending money, but you kind of have to spend money when you're traveling. Plus, we're spending a lot more money on gas than we ever have. Anyway, my whole thing about spending money is that I both want to be able to live my life, but also I want to be able to retire one day. So I feel like I found a decent balance, maybe not these last 2 trips, but I feel like I found a decent balance in my budget where I can live life and also maybe one day retire. We'll see. Anyway, I really want to talk about, though, before I talk about the numbers about my vacation and how much we've spent, I also want everyone to know that you have to stop comparing your finances to other people, because people make decisions based on the information that they already have. Growing up, or even as an adult, I used to judge people like, why would they buy that? Why would they do that? Why are they not saving money? And then I realized one day that everyone's just making decisions based on what they care about. So some people care about living in the moment, so they're spending in the moment. Some people care a lot about retiring. They care a lot about investing. So they're putting their money into that. And I feel like I have decided on both. Like, how can we have both? How can we live for today, but also save for tomorrow? So don't judge what I'm about to say when I tell you these numbers, because when I added them up last night, it did kind of make me sick. So one of the reasons why we could afford these trips was that Dante has worked every single day of both trips. He did take one day off on Thursday in Provo because we were going swimming, and he had gotten a free PTO day because he had done something really great as an employee at his company. But he has worked every single day of our trips. So it's not like he's taken all this PTO. I don't know if we could afford to take this much PTO. I don't think there's that much PTO anywhere, because we have taken other trips this year where he has taken PTO, like when we went to Disney and when we went to Maui for my sister's wedding. Anyway, our Hawaii spending total. Now this includes souvenirs, a rental car, gas, buying lots of things for my grandma that she really wanted. Like she wanted these handmade mu'mu'us, which are like these like Hawaiian style dresses. The total, oh, this makes me sick. But think about how much a rental car costs for a whole week when you buy it last minute. $2,686. That also included a lot of parking. Like we had to park at the airport. It's a funny story, but I don't want to tell it because I don't want to embarrass somebody. I also had to pay for checked bags. Did you know United charges $50 a checked bag each way? A really expensive grocery run to Walmart because we were staying up on the windward side. So you have to get your groceries from Walmart and bring it up. And there were just lots of fun activities that we spent money on. Like I said, going to the PCC, going to Toa Luau, going to Waimea Valley. And I bought a lot of souvenirs. Oh, also our last tank of gas, which was almost a full tank in this minivan, was literally $80. So anyway, $2,686 was how much we spent on the Hawaii trip. Now, that sounds great when you think about a week in Hawaii, but it's because my grandpa paid for our flights and our hotel. And that was because he really wanted us to be at the reunion representing his family there. Well, my grandma's family. Anyway, now I'm going to talk about my road trip and what we've spent for the last 5 days. So Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. We have spent, this doesn't sound good. I thought this trip was going to be cheaper than it is. $1,183.47. And that includes gas, 2 hotel stays because we stayed in Cheyenne and we stayed in St. George. It includes all the food we've eaten, lots of souvenirs, and our national park pass, which was $80. So yeah, that's how much we've spent between these 2 trips. I can get more into like what we spent on our last Maui trip, including hotel and rental car. Actually, we booked that with Costco. Our flights to Hawaii, to Maui this last year were so expensive. I think the flights were the most expensive part of that trip. And also, I could also talk about our Disney trip because that was also an outrageous amount of money. And this is what I mean by like, we spend money on the things that we really love and we cherish, which is traveling. My husband says that because he didn't travel growing up, like he didn't know, like he knew he wanted to travel with his children. And so, yeah, we spend a lot of money on traveling, and we have a smaller house. We don't have brand new cars, all because we love traveling. But all this to say, we still have a whole nother week of this trip. I'm really going to try and keep it under $1,000. It's kind of tough because we really want to do Catalina Island and we still need to book a hotel. And I mean, I am going to have to buy school clothes for my kids and school supplies. I did have a different budget for August, and I have $250 budgeted for school supplies and school clothes, which actually might be too much because I don't need to buy school clothes for my kids at the moment. It is still hot in Missouri, so they don't need brand new jeans. They don't need brand new shirts. I will get them like one first day of school outfit, but like also what kind of school supplies do kindergartners and pre-K kids need? Not that much, but I'm still gonna get the nice stuff and get the teacher whatever she wants. I am pro get the teacher what they want for school supplies. Plus, next weekend is Missouri's tax-free weekend. So if you live in Kansas City, you already know, but it's great. You can buy what you want tax-free, and a lot of these stores have really good sales, knowing that people are there to buy things. So yeah, I am pro getting all of the school supplies and whatever a teacher needs for their classroom. I used to be a teacher. I taught middle school, so I mean, there's not as many supplies that are needed. So especially in the elementary school age, like they're not asking for much. They're asking for pencils, crayons, markers. And you know what's funny is There are a million school supply drives. Like, I see so many people doing, so many churches and just so many individual people, like, in memory of my cousin Krista, my cousins host a school supplies drive, and I donate some money because that is so good. There are so many kids who need school supplies, so there's not really an excuse to not have school supplies. I'm just saying, like, even when we were here in Vegas, the sweet people at my husband's church that he grew up in were offering our kids to come back and get school supplies, and I was like, thank you so much. We are so blessed to not need school supplies. So awesome. I think everyone should buy school supplies, whether it's the nice stuff or not. I mean, you gotta buy the Crayola, you gotta buy the Ticonderoga. It's maybe like a 5-cent upcharge. So pro school supplies right here. Anyway, all that is to say that I am so lucky to have the income that we have. I know not a lot of people can even take one trip a year. And so I definitely see my privilege in that. And I am really feeling grateful for the life that I'm living, especially on this trip, being with my husband, being with my kids, and getting to see so much family. Like, honestly, I'm going to try not to cry, but I'm so grateful for everything. And yes, I'm living right now the life that I dreamed of when I was a kid. Like, I didn't know that this was going to be the life. Like, I thought the life that I wanted was like big corporate lawyer, corporate like CEO, executive. But honestly, I think what I'm doing now is actually my dream life. Okay, moving on. I'm almost done, but I only watched one show this whole road trip because I was driving most of the time. And I watched the show Married at First Sight. I don't know if anybody knows that show, but I had never watched it. I didn't really know, like I know the premise was that they show up to the altar, they're matched by matchmakers, they have to get married. Well, they can say yes or no. So I wasn't sure if somebody was going to say no or if anybody has like looked at the person they were matched up with and said no. So I wasn't sure what to expect. I really don't even know if people usually stay together with this show, but I am just going to talk about what I've seen through episode like 3. So I'm like just getting through all of the weddings, but Adam and Mecca seem like the biggest red flags. Now I'm talking about season 20, if you're not following. Mecca, he is this interesting dude who was mad about not getting a kiss at the altar. The girl that he married, Belle Jolie, she was like, I don't want to kiss somebody when I first meet them. Like, I don't even do that in real life, let alone like in front of my whole family. And so he was upset that he got a cheek kiss. And I was like, that is so annoying. Like, that he can't understand that someone doesn't want to kiss him right away just because you're married. Like, that's crazy and a red flag. Adam, he was being just overly picky. Like, he gives me like really bad red flag vibes with everything about Marissa, and he like was judging her without even meeting her. And it was a really big red flag for me that none of his family showed up. Now I know, like, he was like, oh, my parents are on a long trip and my grandma didn't want to fly, but not even his sister wanted to come. Like, that's red flags to me that nobody wanted to come to your wedding. And that you never even talked about it. Like, the rest of the people, everyone else had all their family and friends. And, like, I already know, like, for my own child, like, I will get onto a plane to make it to their wedding. So the fact that nobody came for him, big red flag to me. The friends laughing about how awkward it was when Adam was playing the piano at the wedding was so me. Like, having someone play an instrument for you, sing to you, any of that is so incredibly awkward. Like, even though that he was like playing really good, it was kind of like he was playing like, I don't know how to explain it. He was playing like the most basic like Beethoven song. And so yeah, it was like kind of odd for a wedding to play that song. Anyway, he seems like an odd dude. I love Tori already. Like, I think Tori is awesome. I hope Felipe is a good guy to her and he's not just like a super big mama's boy. I think that might be the route that the editors are going to take, that he's a big mama's boy. But I just really hope Felipe and Tori work out because they're so cute together. I'm pretty sure I loved Nick on The Circle because there's a guy named Nick on the show, and he was also on The Circle, and I guess he's been on a lot of other reality TV shows. Anyway, Courtney's family, the girl he married, was being so weird about it. Like, they're bodybuilders, but like they're also kind of just odd people in general, and they were like, you don't know his intentions if he's been on all these reality TV shows, which I disagree with, but he just seems like a genuine guy. I just thought it was funny that they were like making a joke that Nick was on RuPaul's Drag Race and her family was like, oh, we love racing. Not knowing that RuPaul's Drag Race is Drag Race. Like, I even asked my husband though, I was like, do you know what RuPaul's Drag Race is? And he goes, is it about racing? And I'm like, no. And then I had to explain to him, I was like, Drag Race. And he goes, oh. So it was just funny. Like, I guess I didn't realize that that's not pretty common knowledge to people. Anyway, I'm not sure about Nikki's true feelings about Sean. I feel like she looked at him and was like, not really that interested. I don't think she's really attracted to him based on her facial expressions. I thought it was interesting that she wanted a man who made more than her, which I feel like is really difficult because she already makes $250K a year on her corporate job. But anyway, Married at First Sight, really good. I'm going to try and finish or like catch up maybe today or tomorrow on our drive to California. My to-do list. I'm going to try to not spend so much money in California, even though we don't have a hotel booked and we don't have anything booked. Like, our idea was Catalina Island and maybe Universal Studios. Like, just Catalina Island and Universal Studios, like just the entrance to get there, like the ferry and the entrance would cost us close to like $800, $900. Like, that's crazy. And we don't even have a hotel, and we need a hotel for 2 nights. But Dante already took the time off, so knowing him, he's going to be like, yeah, let's do it. He's also doing like trading stuff with his dad, so he's like, we'll use that money. Anyway, talking about money. See, look, I'm being very vulnerable about how we are big spenders this month and not savers as much as I usually like to be. My other goal this week is to not panic about every little thing that I'm missing at home, but also every little mess and disorganization. We are missing so much at home. Like, right now they're doing Samoan Flag Day practice because on Labor Day weekend they have a big Samoan Flag Day. Well, it's not Flag Day. They want us to call it Oleaso o Samoa, like Samoan Day. But anyway, we are in a dance group and we will have missed 3 weeks worth of dances. So I need to practice that at home, not freak out that we are missing so much, and just enjoy this trip and just relax. Anyway, this was a good and very, very, very short episode, but I'm glad you're here. And if you listen to me getting vulnerable about money, don't judge me, please. And I love you, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye.